Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to the Mindfulness Daily Practice. We're continuing our topic on self-compassion. So yesterday the main topic was how mindfulness itself, just by itself, without actually taking any effort, cultivates self-compassion all by itself. And today the topic is about, well, how does it work? What's the benefit of self-compassion, and what has the research shown about self-compassion? And we spent some time a few weeks ago talking about neuroscience. How does inside our brains, what's going on, and how does self-compassion begin to lead towards compassion outwards towards our fellow human beings? So start out with self-compassion itself. What is beneficial for us about self-compassion? The main benefit is adopting a growth mindset. So we can, once we're more compassionate to ourselves, learn to be more resilient, learn to be able to handle setbacks a little bit better, and as we're kinder to ourselves, we'll find that we bounce back more quickly from setbacks. That there are two ways to react, which we talked about yesterday. One way is to be overly harsh and overly critical to yourself. The other way is to have too much self-confidence, to not admit that there are any problems, to delude ourselves. So neither one of these. Are you okay? Are you okay? Neither one of these strategies are particularly beneficial in growth mindset. If you're too overconfident with yourself, you may become complacent, and you may think that I'm already so good. There's not much more for me to do, and being overly critical to yourself creates defeatism. So I'm not going to even bother working on myself because I'm already feeling so unhappy about how things are going. So self-compassion lets you see yourself with this lens of clarity. So it's kind of like an attachment and an additional benefit to mindfulness. Mindfulness lets you see yourself with clarity, but I think sometimes maybe we as you're looking at yourself clearly, you might start to feel harsh towards yourself. You might start to be more judgmental. So self-compassion gives us a kind of a cushioning so that we can be more resilient, so that we can be our best friend. We can be our own best friend. We don't have to be so harsh and so critical on ourselves when we fail. So learning how, and today's practice is going to be more of the gentle repetition about learning how to be kind to myself. And as we do this gentle repetition, and it may be strange or new or unusual for you, but the idea here is to help to practice having a voice of kindness to yourself instead of having this voice of harshness, which may be your default mode. So a lot of the research has been done by Kristen Neff, although actually these days there are a lot more researchers. I think it was probably like 5 years ago when Kristen Neff was really the key researcher and one of the first people to tackle what self-compassion and self-compassion as a strategy and what self-compassion does to us. So one of the studies she had done was about one group of college students were told to do journaling that's compassionate to themselves. Another group was to do self-esteem kind of journaling, just write the good qualities about myself. And what was found was that college students who failed and had not done well and not performed well on exams, when writing in self-compassion kind of terms, were more quickly able to bounce back, or easier for them to start studying again, to work hard, and to improve their grades because of this kind of self-compassionate attitude. Whereas the self-esteem journaling group was the same as the baseline. So not showing that self-esteem really isn't this kind of useful strategy perhaps that we thought that it was in the past. That self-esteem, unfortunately, is conditional. Self-esteem, your self-esteem is conditional upon those things that you're good at. And if something happens, if you're a marathon runner, and all of your confidence comes from your ability to run a marathon, the day that you have an injury on your leg, you're going to have some major issues, because all of your identity is so closely tied to this kind of performance. And so this kind of goes across the board. Marathon runner is just kind of an easy example to use. So this is piece one of today's talk, is that bouncing back from setbacks, being resilient, is strengthened through self-compassion and strengthening of self-compassion. So number two, self-compassion is the foundation for all other outward compassion. And a few days ago I had read that little piece from Bhante Gunadhara's Mindfulness in Plain English, and this kind of idea that I can be understanding, I can be compassionate of others because I've first learned to look at myself, and I've become compassionate towards myself. And in that case, we were just talking about mindfulness. No need to cultivate any kind of additional self-compassion. So the exercises that we're doing today are specific to cultivating self-compassion. And kind of the scientific study about how compassion works is, let's dial back to empathy. Empathy is feeling with someone else. So as we see someone else having a difficult situation, the same areas in our brain fire. So if you see someone being sad, it can actually trigger you to be sad yourself, because of how empathy works. When I view someone in a difficult situation, that situation, I can begin to feel it myself. And if you want an easy example, it's physical pain. If you see someone in physical pain, you may find yourself wincing, or you see someone do something that's cringeworthy. Plenty of videos about people doing cringeworthy stuff, or just in your life. Why are we cringing? Because we feel that, maybe in this case, especially when someone isn't aware of what's going on, we feel that kind of embarrassment on their behalf. So this foundation of empathy is training ourselves to be able to feel more deeply with someone else. And how do we do that? Is that we train ourselves to feel our own emotions more deeply and more with that higher resolution awareness. So this can be done through body scan, learning how to observe your body, observe how your body reacts to emotions, seeing your own emotions with that kind of third-party, non-judgmental awareness. We can start to tune into how our own emotions work, and as we strengthen our ability to feel our emotions, our empathy naturally starts to increase. And so, just to be clear, empathy is not emotional contagion. It's not I lose control of myself when I see someone else having a difficult situation, and that I get completely consumed by the emotion. There is this aspect of wisdom beyond it, so that we can see. And in fact, this really is where compassion comes in. right? Compassion isn't simply seeing and observing the emotion of another person. It is being able to rise up above it a bit more without being caught inside of the whirlwind of emotion, and kind of asking ourselves, what can be of service now? What can be of service for myself in this situation? What can be of service for others? So really comes with the self-knowledge that is cultivated through mindfulness. And so self-compassion, teaches us to be more kind, more compassionate to ourselves, to understand ourselves, to understand our own human failings, to recognize what's the same inside of me with every other human being on this planet. We all want to be happy. We all want to feel at peace. And this is something that I can use to connect with that other person. So, welcome everybody. Great to have you here today. We're going to go ahead and get into our practice. So today's practice will be a little bit of mindfulness and then a little bit of self-compassion, which of course self-compassion is woven into mindfulness itself, but we'll do we'll use some phrases to help cultivate self-compassion, to help remind ourselves, especially in those hard times. Give ourselves some well wishes. So go ahead and get comfortable. So you can sit up straight if you like. Usually for compassion practice, we're not so worried about the posture being as perfect, let's say, as mindfulness practice, because there's more to pay attention to than just the breath. There's more to work on. So be kind to yourself. Find a posture that's going to be comfortable and at ease for you today. And let's start by noticing what's happening in the present. Let's start with sounds today. What do you hear? What sounds are falling on the ears? So not trying to decode them necessarily, not needing to label them to say this is fan noise, this is my refrigerator running. Instead, seeing if you can just let the sound waves hit your ears, including the sound of my voice, and seeing how your mind may decode the words instantly. Is it possible for you to just let the sound of voice be another sound in your soundscape? And then we can begin moving towards physical sensations. Feeling the buttocks against the cushion, against the chair. The legs, the thighs against the cushion or chair. Maybe you're lying down, feeling the shoulder blades, feeling the back of the head, feeling the heels. And then noticing your breathing. Feeling how the body gently moves with each breath. Feeling the sensation of air moving through the nostrils, cooler air as you breathe in, warmer air as you breathe out. Keeping the mind focused on the breath, or on bodily sensations, or on sound, for a few more moments. And now beginning to shift your attention slowly to your sense of self. Who is it that's here today? And seeing if you can open your heart towards yourself, to have an attitude of acceptance, of unconditional love, of compassion for you, just as you are, without needing to be any different, without needing to be any better. The you that's here today is the you that's here right now. It's the only you that's here. If you're waiting for the perfect you to show up before you love yourself, you're going to be waiting a very long time. So is it possible for you to love yourself exactly as you are in this moment? To soften your heart towards yourself. To love yourself unconditionally. There's no need to wait. In this present moment, you are exactly how you are supposed to be. So why not soften your heart? Turn towards yourself. Love yourself just as you are. Remember your good intentions. And for many of us, this practice, loving ourselves, being compassionate to ourselves, is very challenging. We don't know how to do it. What kind of feeling am I supposed to be feeling right now? Whatever feeling you are feeling is already enough. So there's no need to feel a particular way. There's no need for something magical to happen. Just beginning to change the attitude slightly is enough. And especially for those that find this challenging, what can be helpful is to repeat a few phrases of well wishes to ourselves. So if you feel comfortable doing so, follow along with me. Repeat after me. You can do it out loud or you can do it in your mind, whatever you feel more comfortable with. But as best you can, meaning these words, not so focused on the words, but maybe focusing more on the feelings. May I be happy and contented. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible. May I be healthy and whole and complete, to whatever degree possible. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. So we'll go through these again and see if you can be sure to mean these as best you can, not just repeating the words like a mantra, but instead focusing on the meaning and the feelings behind these words, how they make you feel. May I be happy and content. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. And so let's let go of those phrases for now. Come back to the body, observing again the sensations in the body. Maybe noticing, is anything different? Has any part of my body become less tense? Can I still feel myself breathing? Can I still hear the sounds in my room? And so let's take 3 more breaths before we end practice. And in these 3 breaths, see if you can have your attention fully focused on the sensation of breathing. And I'll close practice with the bell. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for practicing with me. Thanks for taking this time today for yourself. So this practice, of course, can begin to incline the mind to kindness instead of what may be the default mode of harshness towards ourselves. Barbara, I noticed little to no resistance to the practice today. A change for me. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks for sharing. I know, I remember that this has been more challenging in the past, and so maybe the rational reasons why it works have been helpful. So thanks for sharing. Demonte says it was good, it was peaceful. Caesar says pleasant but difficult to feel the self-compassion. I think this is, I wanted to say that when we were meditating as well, that you don't need to feel anything. And I think that that's really important. I think some people think that meditation in general, and whether it be mindfulness meditation or compassion or even mantra meditation or whatever meditation we're doing, is supposed to make me feel something. Like I'm supposed to feel like I'm, whatever. I don't know what we're supposed to feel like. And I think it's important to understand that self-compassion practice is powerful all by itself, that you don't need to feel anything, that the practice is already doing its work, even if you feel nothing while you're doing the practice. So thanks, Caesar, for sharing that. And just a reminder that you're not doing anything wrong if you don't feel anything. Sybil shares, I felt warm and relaxed. I felt warm and relaxed into it. Thank you. Cece, I've been thinking if mosquitoes and viruses accept themselves, maybe I can also. Thank you. Janice, I need to work on this. This really helped. So for people who do want to work on this, first of all, this practice has been recorded and will be available. The recording will be available in a few hours. So on the big video internet site. Furthermore, on Insight Timer, I have a self-compassion practice. I think it's called 10 Minutes of Self-Compassion. So you can use that guided meditation. It's quite similar to what we've gone through. Spends a little bit more time on the self-compassion aspects. So you can try that out. There's also a 45-minute heartscape meditation where we do the full compassion practice, where we spend time on ourselves, and then we have the concentric circles outwards. So if you'd like to practice compassion a bit more with intention, really focusing on the compassion aspect of the practice, you can feel free to use those guided meditations. So thanks, Janice, for bringing that up. Leslie says, yes, Demonte, I also found it peaceful. I was with a dear friend yesterday having empathy and compassion for her pain. Thanks, Leslie. Recording, Jill asks, where are the recordings, the video recordings? They are on an external website that you can find if you look on my profile and using the Insight Timer app, the Ryan Grimes profile. In the tab to the far right, there's an About tab. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's like a little globe icon with a link. That will take you I think there's like 2 clicks you'll have to make to get to the recordings. So the name of the channel is Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Practice. So maybe that'll help make it easier to find as well. All right, thanks everybody. We will, let's do it. Before you go, Edith, we can do let's do a little bit of compassion to ourselves and to everyone else as we go outwards and we say goodbye. So join me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May all of you watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all sentient life around the universe, including those yet to be born, I wish them all happiness and peace. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks CC for your donation. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do 1 hour of self-compassion. So the practice will be mindfulness and self-compassion together with a short talk, but we'll be together for 1 hour, starting at the same time as usual, just going a little bit longer. So until then, bye-bye.